We're doing it, guys. We're doing it. I think we're 1 minute early here, but we are doing Live with Lauren. This is going to be a weekly episode. I don't really know what we're going to do here. We're just going to kind of figure it out as we go, whether we talk about fitness, lifestyle, nutrition, hot topics, dating life, things like that. It really is just going to be a weekly open forum kind of casual show. And it's something that's been living in my mind for a while now. Okay, we are live. I wasn't really sure. It's been a while since I've run our live shows. We do it on Friday for Talking Elite Fitness for Q&A, but normally either Sean or Tommy run it. So it's been a while. So bear with me. I think I can actually pull up. There we go. We'll have the comments over on the side so we can see everybody. Red, white, and Bills. Hello. Holly. Hi. So yeah, this is going to be a very fluid show. I have a couple topics that we'll run through today, but I really want to see what the viewers want. What do you guys want to talk about? Eventually, I would love to have guests on the show, but maybe not the guests that you would expect me to have on the show. While we're all in the fitness ecosystem, or probably most of you who are going to be watching this, I think that we can talk about topics outside of fitness and really explore different things. Hold on. Of course, I told you guys that you would see my dogs. So there's Miko and Saber, my guy. You should really see the setup that I have right now. I wanted it to look a little bit more casual than when I'm actually at my desk. And in the wintertime, we can have the fireplace going. It'll be really nice. And yeah. So obviously the CrossFit Games are coming up. I leave for Texas on Tuesday morning. I get in. Myself and Tommy Marquez are going to be there, and we're going to be pumping out all the coverage from Tuesday all the way through Sunday. I actually just saw, I think it was Mike Helpin on Known and Knowable, repost Billy Bob's. And I have gone down so many rabbit holes on how much fun that after party is going to be. And originally, if anybody's been to an after party at the CrossFit Games, those things, they go until the wee hours of the morning. And historically, that's like the one time of year that I really let my hair down. So I originally booked my flight to go home at like 2 p.m. on Monday so that I could sleep in. I didn't really need to worry about like rushing to the airport. And then I think like last week I looked at it and I'm like, what the heck? Why am I waiting until 2 p.m. to go back home? I want to get on the first flight as early as possible. So now I'm on a flight at 7 a.m. on Monday. And then I saw the after party at Billy Bob's, and they've got live music. They have line dancing. You can ride a bull. They have live like bull shows, whatever you call them. And I texted Presley. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I changed my flight to be so early. I know that I'm going to need to be dragged out of there. She goes, oh, me too. My flight's at like 7. So I at least know that she will be there as well. Floofs. Yeah, we are always going to have the floofs here because they are my babies and they are my protectors. That's what I like to call them. So we have the CrossFit Games coming up. What else do we got? This weekend, I actually have the Tactical Games. That one's going to be in New Hampshire. So if y'all follow me on Instagram, you'll see that it is a team event. So think of kind of similar to CrossFit. It's going to have, but just pairs of 2 elite individual competitors that will team up and throw down together. So what I'm going to do is normally I'll commentate over full stages and show the whole thing and then post them on YouTube. And we might still do that, but specifically we're going to be focusing on miking the athletes up and, seeing who has some fun commentary throughout their events that they'll be doing, or stages. That's what they call them. They call them stages. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's in New Hampshire, which is about like 6.5 hours from me. So instead of flying, because it would have flown me into Boston, which is still like 4 hours from me, I will be driving tomorrow. So I'll get in probably like around dinner time or evening by the time I leave here. But that's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, Presley, honky tonk, and then make it to the airport for 7 a.m. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. It's going to be great. Everything's fine. So if anybody else is doing that, you can, maybe get an Uber with Presley and I as we still have our makeup and our honky tonk clothes on. That's going to be the situation. And then maybe change at the airport. Who knows? Who knows what shenanigans we'll get into? It's always a fun time, though. I loved Madison. And I think I loved Madison too because I lived in Wisconsin, Green Bay specifically, which was like 2.5 hours from there back in my TV days. And I just love the vibes and I love like the atmosphere of being in Wisconsin that I'm really curious to see what Dallas Fort Worth is like. Um, I have high hopes and expectations that it's going to be awesome, but Madison was a tough city to follow, to be honest. I know that a lot of people were not expecting it to be that great because you go from Carson, like this bigger city in California, to this much smaller city in Wisconsin, but I think that it really played well to making you feel like you were at the CrossFit Games because everywhere you turned there were stuff. That's a cool microphone. Want to know a fun fact? So this is the first like professional microphone that I got. And as I was looking for ones, I also like the one that I normally use at my desk is Shure, which is like one of the best on the market. But this one, HyperX, that's what it is. It's actually for people who are gamers. So you can also order a keyboard that looks like this and you can sync up the colors. You can either have them change how this one does, or you can have it stationary. So I have never really played video games. I mean, like Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing growing up were the type of video games that I played. And Zelda. Did anybody ever play Zelda? Those are really fun. And we're going all over the place. This is kind of how the show is. There's kind of structure, but this is what did somebody say? I was looking for, like, guys will say free balling, and I've been saying free balling, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense for me. I I don't have balls. So somebody goes, you're free vagina-ing, but I feel like that's too much of a mouthful. So I'm gonna just stick with we're still free balling. But anyways, so when my family would drive to North Carolina, the Outer Banks every single year, we would go with my cousins who I was really close with. And me and my cousin Steven would sit in the back of his mom and dad's minivan. And we had those like portable televisions that you could connect video games to. And that is what would get us through this like 12 to 13 hour drive is we would just play like Mario Kart and Mario Party over and over again. And does anybody remember there was like this game that you had like the little joystick and you had to spin it as fast as you can? And to be competitive, I would do it with like the palm of my hand. And it kind of reminds me when people tear their hands in CrossFit because I would like go all in with it and literally get a blister or tear my hand. And it didn't matter. You wanted to win, and that's what you would do to win. So it was definitely a good time. But yeah, who's going to the CrossFit Games? I just saw some of my merch, the shirts that I ordered. They are shipping out now. It's Ken and Amy through Sherpa Works who are doing them. They said that they should be in people's hands before they leave for Texas. But if you are somebody who ordered merch, I ordered like I think 20 to 25 extra that I'll have on hand. I might do some giveaways if for whatever reason somebody got there early and their shipment didn't come to them on time. Just connect with me. I'd be more than happy to get a shirt in your hand, especially if you ordered one. I'm obviously not going to make you pay again. So that should be fun. But this weekend, yeah, tactical games first. So that will be Saturday and Sunday. I think they only have like 3 more events before nationals this fall. That it's the week after the Rogue Invitational. So that'll be really exciting. But tactical games is super fun. If you guys haven't checked it out or investigated, it's one of those sports that really makes you feel like, I mean, I didn't get into CrossFit until 2016, but from every like video that I've seen and everybody I've talked to, and even the people who are doing tactical games now that were like OGs back in the CrossFit days, they say that it really reminds them of the earlier days. And I think part of that is like, there's no prize purse. So while people are super, super competitive, like it still kind of has that genuine sparkle to the sport. I don't really know any other way to explain it, but there's obviously like prizes on the line from sponsors that I think at nationals, the stuff that they got between guns, gun cases, ammo, things like that, it was upward of like $8,000 to $10,000. So the prizes that you can win at nationals and the regional events are still like super significant. But it's one of those things that I've seen time and time again while covering the sport. Athletes just give equipment out of their truck to a competitor, or the competitors, they actually judge each other. So that's been really unique to watch, and just them giving tips. Like they don't hold any of their competitive edge close to their chest the way that people do in CrossFit. And I also understand that CrossFit is further along than tactical games. I think tactical games only started in 2019, so it's still very new, but it's so much fun going out there. The community is great. The people are great. The training, I mean, you can train CrossFit and at least be prepared for the physical side of the test there. Of course, you would also need to learn the shooting components of it. A lot of it is through dry fire, but that is what we are going to be doing. Susan, I am not a gamer. Back in the day, again, I used to play some like Nintendo 64 and I had a Game Boy Switch, but that has been a very, very long time since I have played any of those games. Did anybody see, I think it was Keeping It Real. He recently started a YouTube show, and I've connected with him over social media, but he did that interview with Ariel Lowen. And I wish that I had seen the clip and that episode before we did Death By, because Ariel talked about how an athlete leaked information about the step overs. And again, I'm not going to go super into depth with it because I haven't investigated it a ton. Like, I know that obviously Dave Castro posted the clip of Trista Smith doing the step overs with the twist, and like that's what the twist is. But in the interview, she said that an athlete leaked information. And again, without like speaking specifically to what happened, I'm curious on what all of your thoughts are on like what should be the repercussions of that. Because to me, how can this sport grow if people are so quick to leak information, whether it's somebody that works for CrossFit HQ, whether it's athletes on the demo team that have all of this information that truly could, I don't think it necessarily changes the results, but for instance, if athletes knew, like the year that we had crossovers, if some athletes knew about that before the event and had time to practice, they absolutely would have had a competitive edge. So to me, I kind of fall into two different camps. I either would want to see CrossFit have the athlete that leaks the information, and of course you would have to know which athlete leaked the information, but either a 1-year ban from competing. And after I thought about that, I thought something that actually might be better is a steep monetary penalty. So, okay, LaurenK is on the demo team. I'm caught leaking information. All right, you now owe CrossFit $50,000. You know, it just, to me, that's a way that you could professionalize the sport a bit. Is why do people feel, and I saw somebody in one of the comments say like, if my sister was competing at the CrossFit Games and I was on the demo team, I would absolutely leak information to her. And as close as I am with my sisters, and even like Presley was here in the chat, who's my best friend, I would like to think that I wouldn't do that. That no, like the whole point of the sport is not to do that stuff, because then everybody is on this race of who can get the exclusive information and not have the playing field equal. And I know that people are human and that stuff happens, but I just think that there needs to be some type of accountability when it comes to leaking information. And it's just a little bit disheartening that, you know, whether it was a open workout that was leaked or a movement that was leaked for the games, I think regardless of the situation, there needs to be some kind of penalty and repercussion. And I think that we've yet to see that from CrossFit, and that's something that people are looking for. And I know you can kind of brush it off and just say, there's bigger things happening. And I mean, I'm here all day to toot the horn of positivity and like, let's build people up and let's put the sport and the athletes in a really positive light. But this is a situation where I think, okay, it doesn't need to be all of this negative press. Like, it doesn't need to be this big thing. Just have a penalty and or some kind of accountability or something, and then be on to the next thing. And then people know the expectation, and then people are more apt to follow rules when there are repercussions versus if you can do something and not get away with it. Human nature says that people are gonna, you know, tout the line. People are gonna like first dip into the gray area and then dip into the red area because they know that they can get away with it. Noelle, I feel like this season is a first where there was a leak in every stage of competition. Yeah, you make a really good point. And again, to me, it's just sad. It's sad because we want to focus on these amazing accomplishments from these athletes, and at open announcements we want to focus on the competition and the great things that are happening, and then it's like the only takeaway is, oh my god, this got leaked again. Or now people on social media talking about, well, who was the demo team athlete that leaked this info? We are less than a week. What day is it? Today is Thursday, so we are exactly a week, well, I guess it's nighttime, so officially like less than a week away from the CrossFit Games. We should be focusing on talking about matchups, talking about, predictions and rankings. And, is Tia going to go for 7? Is Laura going to beat everybody with Tia there? Like, who's going to win it for the men? There's so many great storylines that we can be focusing on. And it's just sad when you see, and again, the comment section, it's the same. The comment section on Instagram and even sometimes on YouTube, on any social media platform, I always kind of compare it to Reddit. That's where people just, say whatever they feel. They don't kind of gut check themselves and think, hey, is this kind? Is this nice? Or is this a little bit snarky? um, and don't get me wrong, sometimes it is entertaining to go in the comment section and read what people say, but what's more entertaining is let's just pump this sport up. We want this thing to grow. And yes, again, accountability needs to happen, but I think that we need to, together with influencers, media outlets, etc., need to work together with CrossFit to continue having that messaging. And yeah, that's the only way that we're gonna keep things going. 100 burpee penalty should do it, from Hiller. Honestly, it's funny you say that because back when I was at my first CrossFit gym, CrossFit Green Bay, there was a penalty if you left your equipment at the gym and you didn't clean it up. You would have a burpee penalty. Every pound of equipment that you left out, that was how many burpees that you had to do. And one day I was running to an appointment or something, and I left my barbell with 105 pounds on. You better believe it that the next day I came in, the coach came up to me, hey, asshole. I mean, that was like our relationship. We could joke like that. You left your barbell out. Or he probably texted me a picture of it the day before. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to do this EMOM style and I'm going to get through 105 burpees. And, it made me never leave any of my equipment out at the gym again. So it, it was very effective. But for something like this, nah, they got to pay. I think that there should be a fee. I mean, other sports do that kind of stuff. The NFL does that all the time. So, we'll see if anything happens. I try to remain hopeful that change will happen and that eventually people will get in the groove. It's also, I understand that there's complications when there's so much turnover at CrossFit. I mean, you have 2 people working for the media team right now that have been, or marketing team rather, I'm sorry, for less than 4 months. I mean, that is a huge undertaking that they need to do to now catch up with everything that's going on, all of the politics that play a part in sports, and getting their bearings on learning what the job is and how everything goes right before the CrossFit Games, that it's hard for us to really even talk about accountability with things when it's hard for leadership and people on the team to even get into a groove of their job before then the next person comes in. So I recognize that it's not as easy as just like doing the thing. There's a lot of moving pieces, but I think it's important to still have the conversation and see what we can all do to grow and further move the sport forward. How much? 25K? I was saying 50K. That's what I think. $50,000. It needs to be enough. And I mean, not to say that $25,000 is not enough. Like, I would cry if somebody gave me a fine of $25,000. I mean, honestly, I would cry if somebody was like, "Hey, you owe $1,000 for doing X, Y, and Z." Like, that's enough to scare me. But it just needs to be enough where it hurts, a little bit, so that people don't do that. Noel, too. Geez, maybe that's part of why the CrossFit games and the community events still haven't allowed registration yet. Wait, what do you mean? What am I missing? Maybe I'm reading that wrong. Here, wait. I don't know. Can you guys see all the comments there? We can pull this one up higher. Ran community events and still haven't allowed registration yet. Interesting. That's a good point. $69,000. Haha. Hilarious. I think it's 3 new marketing people. Yeah, it very well could be 3. But regardless, when there's a lot of turnover, how do you, I mean, I even think of back in the day when I worked at like a new news station, the amount of time that you have to, like, for any new job, to learn the protocols, to learn the procedures, to know who likes who doesn't like who. Okay, and then you gotta work with these people, and you gotta foster these relationships, and then you got to learn how to actually do the job. Not that they don't have experience. Obviously they have experience, but even like if I'm working for a CBS affiliate and then I go work for a Fox affiliate, yes, I know how to do the job, but the way you do the job is a little bit different, and there's different like guidelines for things. So it's a fluid situation where I don't think anybody has really been set up to succeed when we talk about these big ticket items. And again, for a while they were doing press conferences, and I'm sure they'll do press conferences at the games, but it's like a regular cadence of press conferences to talk about some of these things. I know that has been a topic that we've gone back and forth with just on our Friday Q&A with TEF is, it's one of these things where I understand that they're afraid to open it up to everybody, but the other thing is, if you don't open it up to everybody, people are going to share links anyways. Everybody's going to, like, people are still going to come, and whether you like them, don't like them, are indifferent. It's one of those things where the more we can be transparent and have open conversations, the better everybody is, because that's how you build trust. So that's my 2 cents about that. Oh, the dating details. Okay, what do you guys want to know? Because I posted a lot on my Instagram. I learned what I was just at. So earlier today, I went to this powerlifting gym with one of my friends, Missy. Normally Thursdays are rest day, but she was like, "Hey, do you want to come here? There's cute men here. They're big and buff. I don't know, they might not be my type, but we'll see." Didn't see any today, but anyways, her and I were there working out, and she was with her coach, and we were doing a bunch of like leg hypertrophy work, which if you've never done that before, if you think that you're going to failure in CrossFit, go and do some hypertrophy work and you'll realize what actual failure is. Like, I was waddling like a baby fawn coming off of those machines. Anybody that saw me, so maybe I'll never meet a boyfriend there, because they'll just watch me waddling through the gym and be like, what the hell is wrong with this girl? Or they'll just think I'm a hard worker. Maybe that. We'll see. But anyways, 2 of them were talking about the guy who was arrested with, I got more details. One of the articles said that he was arrested without parole. The case has been going on, or the investigation has been going on for like 18 months. And it's between like $50,000 and $100,000 that he owes. And the one guy knew of him because he is like the owner or like head person of this soccer club. And mind you, it's a soccer club for kids. So he was stealing money from like kids' parents and families and then tried to change the bylaws to make it look like he was innocent and really it was the parents in the wrong, which is just like an extra type of like messed up in my book. Like, dude, come on. And you thought you were never going to get caught. And then you put yourself on a dating app just a couple days after the article dropped and you thought that my ass wasn't going to catch you. Dude, like when you are an investigative reporter, that shit never dies. That shit never dies. I will find you. I like you give me a name and I will go down so many rabbit holes. So many rabbit holes. I got to protect myself out here. But so anyways, this guy, he knew him too and he had nothing nice to say. So that was great. I came here for the hot gossip. Yeah, I mean, I'm here. I'm an open book. You guys have questions? I don't really. I am who I am. By the time, it's funny because in my like mid to late 20s, there definitely were things that I'm like, oh, I would never tell people this, or I'd never talk about that. And now I'm just like, why? Who cares? Like, it's hard. Anybody who's dating over the age of, I'll give them like mid 20s understands. And then when people are like, oh, you're so picky, or the other people, I don't understand why you're single. And I'm like, you don't understand. I have to be picky. And when I say picky, it's like, do you have a job? So these are my requirements. Do you have a job? If the answer is yes, we move to the next one. Do you live at home? If the answer is no, we move to the next one. Are you kind? Actually, are you kind? That would be the first question. Then we go to the next ones. And those are the three. Those three ticket items are the level of entry for me to have a conversation with you. And I'm getting to the point where everybody's busy. Everybody divides their time in different ways. It's all how you prioritize your life. But I'm not the type of person who's going to prioritize my life being on my phone texting guys who I don't know yet all day. So after a very brief conversation, if they're not asking me out, I'll be like, hey, do you want to grab coffee later this week? You know, Wednesday at 11, I'm free. What about you? And it's crazy because normally I'm the one that has to ask them on the date, which is like, I mean, I have no problem doing it, but it's also just like an interesting human experiment that I've been part of. And yeah, it's like, I feel like I need to do more of like a survey before I meet up with some of these guys I meet on dating apps. But it's also like, I do not want to invest a ton of time texting people to ask them 21 questions. So it's basically like, hey, do we feel like we somewhat have a vibe? Do I know that you are normal? Which that is such a weird word. I mean, I'm not normal, but you guys get what I mean. What apps are you on? Ooh, that is a great question because that's actually funny. So I was on Bumble and Hinge. And also, I just want to say how annoying this is. I remember when I was doing Wadapalooza live stream, the broadcast, which I do not go into the comment section because I work with a talent coach. I work with somebody who helps me get better at my job. So if people think that I am a shit play-by-play commentator, that's totally fine. I know what I'm good and bad at, and I'm working with my coach. So whatever you say on the internet, on your podcast, on your YouTube show, in the comments, like, great. I hope you're enjoying like talking about me because I'm out here getting better and I'm getting the reps in and whatever. Okay. So that's my 2 cents about that. Moving on. So where is it going with that? Oh, and so I copied the link so I could send it to my coach so that like he could watch it. And then we go through like certain sections together and talk about like what was good, what was bad, what have I improved on from the previous one. And I just see one of the comments and they're like, haha, Lauren's on a Bumble. She's on a dating app. And it's like, am I not allowed to be on dating apps? Why is that so weird? This isn't 2010 where if people met on a dating app, it was so taboo. I don't even know that that's the right word, but like, yeah, I'm on a dating app. I'm single and I want to find the love of my life. And I believe that one day, maybe 10 years from now, but one day I will find my person. And part of that is dating. Part of that is talking to people. Part of that is putting yourself out there. So I was on Bumble and then I cannot believe it. I was banned I was banned from Bumble. Obviously not because of like bullying or doing anything like that. I think that I'm for the most part a pretty like nice person. Yeah, I've had my days and my moments, but overall, I think that I really try to lead my life with kindness and being respectful to people. I got banned because so I had like my bio written out and everything, and I had it connected to my Instagram. But what I've realized is people can kind of like loophole that, especially if like you're not super active on Instagram, which I am, but some people aren't. And it's like, why am I looking at pictures from 4 years ago? So as a second level of almost like security and verification so that the people swiping me knew or like interested, maybe yes or maybe no in swiping me. I put like my bio and under it, I put my Instagram handle. Well, apparently that's like a form of clout chasing on Bumble. And if you put your Instagram handle, they block you and ban you. So when I got this notification, I was like, why am I being blocked from Bumble? Like, I seriously have no idea. And obviously I didn't read the rules. Like I'm not somebody that uh, thought that I would ever break whatever these like rules were about like bullying, being respectful, like not degrading, like all those things. So then when I look at it and it like it said something about like self-promotion and like I'm not trying to get people on dating apps to follow me and build my Instagram account. That is definitely not the goal here. Just having a bunch of creeps follow me. Like what in the world? So then I messaged like Bumble back and I was like, "Hey, I didn't realize this was the rule. Like I totally take accountability. I should have read the rules. And that's my bad. I'll take that out. Can I get this revoked eventually? And can you let me back on the dating app?" And they were like, "Nope, we have a zero policy or whatever. Yeah, zero tolerance policy." So I got kicked off Bumble. So now I'm just on Hinge, which I feel like maybe Hinge has a little bit more quality, but to be honest, like a lot of the apps just have the same people. And this one uh dating love life podcast that I listened to, it did suggest only be on one dating app at a time, like don't overwhelm yourself and all of these things. But I just thought it was so funny. I got deleted and blocked off of Bumble. So I suppose I could create a new account, but to me, I'm just like, I'm on Hinge. It's basically the same thing. The only thing, one of my friends who's gonna be at the CrossFit Games, she was like, I can't wait to be in Dallas Fort Worth. The dating pool looks so much better because Bumble like will change your location as you move around. So like people who are you can set your settings and whether it's within 30 miles or 60 miles or whatever, it'll change with you. Where Hinge, when you set your location and your range, it keeps that location even when you travel. Which for me kind of sucks because like screw it. If I met the love of my life in a different state, even a different country, I would still be open. Yeah, my family is from here and I own a house here, but to me, I don't need to be here forever. I'm open to moving for love. And somehow this has now turned into a love podcast. How has this happened? What questions? Okay. More Instagram followers equals more sponsorship opportunities. Um, maybe, but it's like they're not going to be interactive with me and like Instagram rewards engagement and like okay whatever I get a new sponsorship opportunity because they see that I have all of these followers that never interact or engage with me. So then like if I made a sponsored post and there's like no engagement, then like that's going to be a poor relationship that like they're just not going to sign me on for another contract anyways. So to me, like I don't know, maybe, but at this point, I'm just trying to monetize my bad dating life. I might as well get paid for suffering, right? Not really. That's a joke, but that's funny. The secret is swiping while driving, Lauren. Okay, I truthfully, I have enough speeding tickets on my record that I don't need a texting and driving record. That actually, knock on wood, I haven't gotten a speeding ticket in a while, but I did get a speeding ticket like coming home from a date before because I was then going to be late for a meeting because we hit it off really well, but then he ended up ghosting me. So I was like, wow, this like was definitely not worth it. But here we are. Here we are in the streets. Struggle is real. Okay. Will you ever leave TEF and go out on your own? Um, no, I don't think so. I mean, I love working with Sean and Tommy. Those are two of the most like stand-up guys that I have ever just had part of my life. And the three of us have a really good working relationship. And I'm able to, do stuff with TEF, but also have the liberty to do some of these things on my own, like have a live show and chat with you guys and build my brand that way. And doing a lot of contracting on my own. And I'm also like mentoring people through my brand, which like I don't really promote. It's more just like if I find people I've actually had a couple people find me. So I feel like I'm not the type of person that wants to like have my cake and eat it too, but I feel like at least right now, what I do on my own and what I do with TEF are serving different purposes. That I'm having fun doing both of them. And if we can always keep that relationship, then no, I don't. Like I said, I love working with Sean and Tommy, and I only have like seriously, genuinely great things to say about them. Um, that, I like kicking it with them. Officer, I was trying to get laid. It's okay. No, that's not what I was saying. It literally was a coffee date. Remember, I had an appointment afterwards. Oh my God. No, that is not part of the equation here. And it's actually crazy the amount of guys who like that is what they're looking for, but they don't put that in their dating profiles. And it's like, to me, it's off-putting. If that's what you're looking for, just be honest. You know what I mean? Like maybe somebody would be open to that. Like that's not the stage in my life that I'm at where I'm just looking to like go hook up with people. Like I want a genuine connection, but I'm sure there's people on the dating apps that are just looking to like do that stuff. So, it is it is what it is. I could go down so many dating rabbit holes. Like I seriously, I could write a book. I should start keeping like a log of the different creatures and humans that I meet. One of them, I don't think that I put this on my Instagram story. So I was supposed to, and you'll hear, I say I'm supposed to go out with coffee because to me that's like there's this one, what does he call? Daddy Detention. Oh, it's this guy on Instagram. He has a really thick, like New Yorker accent. The Daddy Academy, the Daddy Academy. This guy is hilarious, but he honestly gives really, really good advice. And I mean, maybe it hasn't worked for me yet. So to each their own. But he was saying that a coffee date is such a low barrier to entry and it's low effort and blah, 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 blah. But truthfully, like to me, I don't want to waste macros at dinner and like have to go out. And I'm not a big drinker. I don't really like alcohol. I used to be a huge party animal. That can be, we'll put a tab in that. Maybe that's for the next live episode. But I used to like drink a lot of alcohol and like stay up all night and all of those things. That's why I say like the CrossFit Games after party, that is like the one time of year that I actually let my hair down. But anyways, so yeah, he talks about, you shouldn't be going on coffee dates if you actually want to meet somebody who wants to put in effort. But to me, that's just kind of my style. If somebody asked me to dinner, I wouldn't necessarily say no, but I would be a little bit more like, hey, why don't we meet for coffee first? But anyways, so I was supposed to go to coffee with this guy a couple Thursdays ago. And then maybe it was supposed to be Friday. And I go, oh, can we actually like do Thursday? My schedule changed. And he was like, actually, no, we have to do Friday because I don't get paid until Friday. And maybe initially, like my reaction seems super shallow, but to me, no, it's a financial planning alert that's going off in my head. Like, bro, you do not like you need to get paid before you go out for a $3.50 coffee. And not for nothing. Like, I never really expect the guy to pay for the coffee. Like sometimes, honestly, I show up earlier and get my coffee myself and then wait for the guy. I actually like showing up early and like getting a lay of the land before they get there. And dudes, they're late all the time. And I'm very prompt. um, but I just thought it was wild to me that a 36-year-old man says that he can't go out for coffee until Friday because it's payday. That's concerning. That is concerning because it's like, what does your budget look like? How do you pay your bills? Like, do you have a savings account? Do you have a Roth? Do you have a 401k? And I'm not saying this like for me because I'm trying to mooch off of it. I have all that stuff on my own. But do you? Like, are you planning for your future? What if your car breaks down? What if there's an emergency? What if you end up in the hospital? Like, do you have an emergency fund? So then we did not go for coffee. I think it was bad. I think I just ghosted him. I think I just didn't even like give that. Okay, I gotta go through these comments. You guys have so many, and I'm not playing catch up because I'm just like talking now. Okay, hold on. Just give me a moment. Give me a moment here. Okay. Yes, I am a detective. That is true. What apps? Okay, we talked about that. Do I think Brooke Wells can finish third? You know, the field is super deep. I would say third through 8 for the women, 8 or 9. I made like my top 1 through 40 men and women, just a rough draft. I'm not sharing it with anybody. It's more just like notes for me, and kind of helps me like see people as we go through the games. I have her in my top 10, but third, no. I think it's either going to be Emma Lawson or Alex Kazan. That would be my pick. Like and subscribe to my dating show here. Yeah, that's actually, it's really funny. Back when I worked with Morning Chalk Up, if Presley's still here, we tried to pitch a show. If somebody wants to take it, that's fine. And that's why I'm going to talk about it, because I don't have any plans to actually do it. Around Valentine's Day, we really wanted to host a like CrossFit Games blind dating show, essentially. So you would have like the single athletes on, and okay, who's behind door 1? He squats 405, overhead squats like 245, and hates running. Like just giving different, like I'm sure that there was a dating show that we were like building it off of, but we just thought that would be so entertaining. I don't know who would actually want to play. Honestly, like screw it. I would play if somebody invited me, but that could be a lot of fun. Do you use the apps while traveling? When I was on Bumble, I did. Never had I ever like met up with somebody, but sometimes I would like swipe when I'm laying in bed, like when I can't sleep after I've uploaded videos or uh athlete interviews and stuff. But again, it's like I'm at these events for work, and there really isn't downtime unless I had extended a trip like on the front end or back end. It is always entertaining though. It really shows me how many eligible bachelors are out there outside of where I live. Yeah, the dating pool here in Syracuse, it ain't that great. It ain't that great. Wow, you guys are turned up in the comment section. We love it. Christina Mingle girl, don't knock it till Christian Mingle. Oh my god, I can't even read. Reads for a living, can't read. Yeah, that's a real thing. My wife was the third picture I saw. Have you tried Farmers Only? That's great. 7 out of 10 of my best dating stories came from dating apps. Yeah, I would say 10 out of 10 of my best dating stories have come from apps. Oh, there was this one guy that was like super stalkery, creepy-ish. We'll put a tab in. We'll get to that story. It's funny because like it's irrelevant now, but in the moment it wasn't really funny. Farmers Only didn't allow you to sign up. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Yeah, because we're going to do this all the time. This is too much fun. Okay. It's better because it's Cowboys fans. No, ew. Cowboys. Packers, baby. How about moving for the love of your best friend, Presley? Yes, and I know that my future husband probably is in the Phoenix, Arizona area. I would say that the likelihood of that is probably pretty good. Oh my god. Yvonne photo live. Oh my god. Yeah, I know. Can you believe it? Personally, I prefer to do things live. I'm more spontaneous and go with the flow, and I don't know, like pre-records are fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's all fun, but I like the live vibe. We're in it and we have real life interaction, which is fun. Screw texting while driving. Just create the app to function on CarPlay and you can swipe left and right by controls on the steering wheel. Hey, if you invent that, yeah, I'm here. I'm here to dabble. Maybe I'll be your first customer to that app. Let me know. I can be one of your beta testers. He needs a sugar mama. Nah, no. Because the thing is, I'm not looking for a sugar daddy. I'm not looking for somebody to support me. I've supported myself since I graduated college and my parents were like, okay, you're on your own now. Yes, in case of an emergency, like I am really lucky because if for whatever reason something crazy happened, like my family would be able to help support me, but they don't anymore. I don't ask for that. I don't want that. I want to be able to be independent and make my own money. Would it be great to like find a partner who was super financially secure and I could, do whatever I want? Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think you guys know me. And my personality enough that even if I were to, win the lottery, I would still work. I'm never not going to work. Maybe I would work less, but then again, like even on weekends, sometimes if I have like one day to sit and watch Love Island, which now you mother effers have me addicted to it and I hate myself for it. So there's that. But the next day I'm like, oh, I am so ready to work. I am so ready to like get through this to-do list. I'm so ready to like accomplish things. That's just always been me. Maybe if we had a beautiful lake house on an island and my laptop was not with me, maybe my mind would change. But I'm just saying like, it's really hard to turn that off. So I just expect somebody to, be smart with their finances. Like nobody's perfect. I get that. Truthfully, like I was in debt for so long, especially after college, because then I got a real job for the first time. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm actually making money. This is crazy. And I lived paycheck to paycheck and I opened credit cards and I put myself in like stupid debt. But those were great learning lessons because guess what? Now I'm not in any debt. Everything is paid off. Like I have savings. I'm financially like secure in that sense. And if like my future partner hasn't like figured that out, yeah, it's just not going to work because then what happens if we do get married and we share a bank account and all of those big things? It just like, no, that sounds like it's going to create an ulcer for somebody. Share the list. What list, Andrew? The list of like bad dating stories. Isn't that what I'm doing here? But I will. Okay, we'll pencil in the stalkery guy in a moment. I'm almost through these comments. Add me to the note. FWIW. My name isn't Susan. I don't know what that means. What does that stand for? Oh my God, the show pitch was everything. Do you still have the video, Presley, of when we pitched it to the name who will not be mentioned? It was a really good pitch. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. I like that show idea. Yeah, obviously you do. Yeah, Imam, you want me to go to Arizona? Arizona is the best. I will be there eventually. Presley wants you to clip that part. Lauren just said, and we'll find her a man in Arizona. I love it. Ernie, Lauren, if you need a wingman during the games, oh God, no. I'm sorry, Hiller. I'm gonna allow you to stay in the comments because this is an open forum. But you ain't gonna wingman for me. Thanks, but no thanks. I don't want the services. The top 40 list. Oh, the top 40 list of athletes. See, you got to be specific because I thought you were asking dating. Will it be released? I don't know, maybe eventually, but like truthfully, people don't come to me for my top predictions and non-predictions. And I think that that's also a very interesting thing because like, yeah, I could release them for fun, but at the end of the day, I am not an analyst. I'm not. Like sometimes I dip a little pinky toe into that, but I really try to stay in my vein. What am I good at? What am I confident at? Or like for play-by-play, for instance, what am I striving to be really good at? I'm not striving to be a good analyst or color commentator. That's not where my heart and passion lies. So if I was to put out my 40 men and women list for the games, people would shit on it so much that it's just not even worth it, because my predictions and stuff, it's not driven by data. Like, sure, it is in the sense that I watch these athletes all the time compete. I keep up with them through athlete interviews and on social media, and like I see what they're posting. So like there's observation there, but the people who are going through like, what was your past finishes and what are your strengths and weaknesses and all of that, like that's just not my vein. And I really believe that if I want to get better at the things that I want to get better at, I just got to stay in my lane. Let the pros who want to put out their top 40 men and women do it and do a great job and have it driven by data. But for me, you know, we're just here to give the top 40 list for fun. That's it. I will locate said video. It needs to be played in next week's live show. Oh, Presley, if you send it to me, we'll roll the tape. We'll roll the tape of the show pitch, and I want to see here. You know what? Screw it. If we can get enough backing for this, and maybe it'll be a team effort, a collaboration of creators, and we can get the show going. And maybe we'll expand into like high rocks athletes and tactical games athletes. Not many of them are single, unfortunately. I have investigated that, obviously. Not necessarily the athletes, just like the community at large. But maybe we could get a couple of like fitness sports and host a dating show. I think that could be a really, really good time. Give the people what they want. I feel like I am giving the people what they want. Like, what else do you guys want from me? I will overshare time and time again. So quickly, the stalker story. So this guy I met on a dating app when I lived in Wisconsin, and we were supposed to meet at this bar restaurant. Fine. I show up like 10 minutes early, no problem. Like I said, I like to get places early. And I'm sitting at the bar and I order a drink and I'm, sipping on it, whatever, checking my phone, don't have a message from him. On time comes, 10 minutes passes by, half hour passes by, 45 minutes passes by, and I'm just like, screw it. Like, this is so lame. Like, he stood me up, no problem. One of my best friends, she was my meteorologist at the time, Katie Kramer. She's married now, so her last name is different, but she lived within walking distance. So I texted her and I was like, hey, Katie, do you mind if I like come and hang for a while? I got stood up and it's a Friday night and I kind of like, I don't want to go back to my apartment alone. And she was like, yeah, fine, come over. So I leave, and mind you, I'm not going to text him like you didn't show up, and that's fine. And it is what it is, but I'm not going to be like, hey, where are you? Like, no, that's just not me. You could tell me why you weren't there if you wanted to. If not, it is what it is. And he messages me and was like, I've been watching you. I just wanted to see how you interacted with the bartenders before I came over. This man waited 45 minutes watching me from afar. That's freaking creepy. So that's when I then get on the phone with Katie and I was like, Katie, please stay on the phone with me. I don't know if this man is going to like follow me out of here. I don't want him to like see me go to my car, see what I drive, come to your house. And it ended up being fine, but it just was like such a weird situation. Who does that? What a freaking weirdo. I do not understand. Like, people are wild. Ortega's here. What's up? What are we doing in here? What are we not doing in here? We're covering so many topics. It's a wild ride. Where's the live call-in number? I don't know how to do that. If you tell me how to do it, like I'll bring people into the show. This is my first live show, guys, all by myself. It's been a minute. I am actually really proud of myself because one thing when I podcast or do shows, I have to pee like almost immediately into it. And right now I haven't really been sipping on my beverage here, but I'm making it through and we're almost an hour in. So we're feeling good. I also don't know how long these shows are going to go. I thought like it would, if nobody showed up and nobody asked questions, I was like, maybe I'll give them like 30 minutes, but things are going well. So like, if you guys stay, what time is that? I do have my bedtime routine. I can only stay till like 8 p.m. I don't know that we'll go that long, but if anybody was wondering, like, how the hell long are we staying here? Yeah, Ortega, you did come to the juicy, the juicy tea being spilt. It is hot. It is very hot. Who's giving red? Oh, Ernie's giving red flags to the weirdo in Wisconsin. Uh, Tony needs a recap. Maybe you should have showed up on time. Maybe you just should have been here on time. But these will be, even after they're live, they will then just post to YouTube. So if you guys like want to go back and watch, that's fine. There's only one question I wanted answered. Would you date Pommel horse guy? I'm open to anything at this point. Does he live with his parents? Is he kind? Does he have a job? Remember that's the barrier to entry at this point. That's the barrier to entry. Giving it real is here. What's up? Good to see you. I really like the colorful mic. I'm jealous. Thank you. This is my gaming mic. Changes colors. It's fun because it's also like I use my Shure mic when I'm at my desk, but this one's really nice because it's super easy to travel with and it like is firm. So I feel like my Shure mic gets squished sometimes. So this is a little bit better. You have peed while I'm on a live show, Andrew. Why does that not surprise me even in the slightest? Wait, are we talking dating? What happened to the most recent army guy? Oh, Ortega. No. So we went on that date where he opened the door. I think I told you that. I was like, wow, what a gentleman. He actually like opened the door for me and he like paid and was like a super gentleman. But then like, no, no. we went on one more date and then I was like, nope, all of the red flags. It honestly gave me a little bit of PTSD from when I dated Christian last year of just very similar like jealousy pattern stuff that I could tell. Like he was already uncomfortable with my job. And it's so interesting the amount of men that are uncomfortable with my job because I interview buff dudes without their shirts on. Which I get when you put it that way and you say it like that. Yeah, that seems a little bit weird. But it's just like I don't understand. Why can't you just be confident in yourself? Like I'm talking to you because I am investing my time in you. Like stop being freaking weird. Presley Jonathan, you're so behind. Eric, he has a bronze medal. Yeah, that's great. That it is awesome. But again, like, are we compatible? I don't know. If he slides into my DMs, I'll answer though. I mean, I pretty much like almost anybody that DMs me if I see it. There is like a secret, not a secret, but like in your DMs, it has all these different categories, and some of them go to like this random one that I truthfully like haven't cleared out. It's the one that has like spam. So if anybody's going to there, I don't see them because I am not going to go through that because there's literally like so many from over the years because I never knew about like that secret little chamber. But anyways, oh my God. And oh, Andrew, you posted the link on Instagram, dude. Why? I mean, thanks, but I don't know that. Oh, who is Christian? Ooh, okay, wait. Okay, should we tell the Christian story, Presley? You know everything. Okay, wow. Hold on, I gotta put some chapstick on. My lips are dry. Okay, if people need to go, that's fine. But this is like the real story. So Presley says, tell it. I always do what Presley says. Okay. So let's go through the last like super serious boyfriend that I had was about 7 years ago. It was when I lived in Wisconsin. His name was Will, and him and I lived together. It just didn't pan out. It is what it is. And then like I've kind of casually dated people, and I don't say that because it was necessarily like casual on my part, but just, you know, I would try to date people and it just wouldn't work out for whatever reason. No problem. So last year I met I can't even say it with a straight face because it's literally so crazy. I met this man, Christian, and I live like an hour from the Army base, Fort Drum in Watertown. So I match with army dudes that are in the infantry like all the freaking time. And Ortega will tell you the best as anyone is like men in the infantry, like, oh, they are not the ones that you want to date. That's like walking into a circus. And I know that that's a blanket statement, but at least from my experience, it has never turned out well. And this is like the Bachelorette. I love it. Oh my God. Yeah, get some popcorn. A real douche. Ernie, wait, you have no idea. We're just getting started. Okay, I got to stop reading the comments. I got like ADHD right now. Okay, so I matched with this guy, Christian, at Fort Drum. And, we go on a date, we connect, like things are going really well. And then we like hung out a lot really quickly, which should have been my first red flag. Like he wanted to hang out all the time. But to me, I was like, oh, I haven't really dated in so long. Like I don't even know what's really like normal and protocol. And this was before I like subscribed to every Love Life podcast ever. And so he was super intrigued and super interested, and we were super compatible. And his sister did CrossFit and she lived in Colorado, and we would like FaceTime her, and she was great. She also gets married this weekend, and God bless her. And she's going to be so great and gorgeous and all of those things. So fuck Watertown. Yeah. Yeah. I have a lot of feelings about Watertown, not just him, just like the whole area in general. So we hit it off, and then like 2 weeks into like hanging out and stuff, he asks to be exclusive and that he wants to like be my boyfriend. And of course, me at the time was like, oh my God, like this is so cool. Like, yeah. And I really liked him. I really did. And I saw a lot of like green flags, and it was great. And that was like close to the time right before semifinals. And semifinals happens, and beforehand I tell him like, hey, with my job, I am not going to be able to really text you much throughout the day because I'm shooting, I'm editing, I'm uploading, I'm doing all of these things. And there isn't anybody who does that kind of stuff. There isn't really a free moment, but we will FaceTime every single night when I get back to my hotel. And so like the first day he absolutely freaked out and basically was like, you're texting me during the women's heats, but you don't text me during the men's heat. It's really sketchy, blah, 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 blah. And then he even like pulled up Tola Morakinyo's Instagram, and he was like, look, you've liked 12 consecutive posts from this man. And I'm just like, I do that with every athlete. Like, why are you pulling him out? So just like these red flags of him getting super hyper jealous right from the get-go. So then we like FaceTimed and talked for like 4 hours, and I'm trying to like calm him down on all these things. And then like he got mad because I went out to dinner with my boss and Sean and Tommy, and I was the only woman. But again, like I work in sports, I work with primarily men. That's just like the way the cookie crumbles. And I've explained that to you. And he was like, you need to text me every 30 minutes to give me an update on what you're doing. And I was like, this is a business work meeting. I'm not going to text you every 30 minutes. I think at that time I probably didn't say that. I was just like, okay, fine, whatever. So to make that long story short, that's when the red flags started coming out, was at semifinals. And so I get back home, things turned out to be, fine. We put a Band-Aid on it. No problem. Him and I then were in a few weeks leaving for Colorado and California to visit his family because he was supposedly deploying later, like in the year. So yeah, it might seem like, oh my God, I'm going to visit his family super soon, but it was his like pre-leave deployment time to go see family. So he did that. And things had gotten better, and then the plane lands and his personality completely switched. The way he was around me, around his family, it was truthfully, it was kind of scary. It was like this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde scenario. And the first day we're there, so before we got there, he was like, okay, it's going to be me and you and my sister and her fiance, and then my brother Trent. And he doesn't have a girlfriend, so I really want to make him feel included. Okay, great. Like, we can totally do that. We shouldn't make him feel like he's a fifth wheel. Like, I live as a fifth wheel all the time. It doesn't, I mean, if you're with the right people, it doesn't feel like that, but I've been with people who it does feel like that. So he's teamed up with his almost brother-in-law playing bags, or cornhole as some people call it. And I go up to his brother Trent and I was like, hey, do you want to be like on a team together? Because his sister was doing something else. And Christian then rapid fire, like, text fighting me. You came all this way to be with my brother, not with me. Like, calling me names, cursing me out, all of these things, like text fighting me while we're playing bags. And I'm just like, what is happening? Like, crazy. So he goes down that rabbit hole. Okay, now I'm just gonna give clip notes because it's getting into a long story, and like some of the details, like, you'll get the picture of who he is. We went to a CrossFit gym. For the ladies, like, in my sports bras, I take out all of like the pads and cups. Like, I have big boobs. I don't need any more extra padding. And truthfully, it's just like, it's not comfortable for me. And I'm a woman of comfort and I do what I feel good and confident in. And he told me, classy women don't let their nipples show. What are you talking about? Like, I'm just like in a sports bra. I'm totally appropriate. What is happening? And then I was at the chalk bucket, apparently a little too long, with somebody else who was chalking up their hands. So then he spiraled and was like, what were you talking to that man about in the chalk bucket? And like, literally, this man was off his rocker. Oops, got my chapstick on my mic. So those are situations that were happening. There was one night where me and his sister wanted to like go back to his aunt and uncle's house where we were sleeping early, and Christian wanted to stay with his family, and he like cursed me out and like yelled at me in front of his whole family. And then his dad comes over to me and was just like, hey, like, I'm really sorry for how he's behaving. Like, we thought Christian had changed. We thought you were really good for him, but apparently not. And that like kind of let the hair on my back stand up. And I'm just like, what? What do you mean? So then we go back. I'm trying to talk to his sister. She's like, he's being psycho. And I'm letting her now read like all of these texts. And she was like, yeah, this is what he did with all of his exes, blah, 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 blah. So then we made a nail appointment before we went to. So at this point, we're in Colorado. We're supposed to then go to California to meet his whole extended family, grandma, grandpa, etc. And he, where was I? Oh my God. Now I'm like brain farting. Oh yeah. Okay. Wow. This is what happens when it gets late. My brain totally just shuts off. So, McKenna, that's his sister, she was like, hey, we should get a nail appointment before we go to California. And I was like, yeah, that's great. So her and I go, and I get into the car, and she looks at me and she's like, I'm surprised Christian let you come alone. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean you're surprised? He let me come alone. And she was just like, Lauren, like, yeah, the whole family thought he had changed, and we thought that like he wasn't behaving like this anymore. What has he told you about himself? And I was like, I mean, he told me that he's been deployed before. He told me that he would do like special missions to kill terrorists, like really intense stuff. And also, like, I have family that was in the military and they don't talk about that stuff. So I did have a red flag go off thinking, oh, this is kind of weird that he's being so open about it. And he told me like that he had killed people and he'd had friends that had died and like all of this stuff. And she was like, Lauren, no, like, he's never been deployed before. And we don't even believe that he is necessarily going to be deployed this time. I was just like, what the fuck? What is happening? What do you mean? What do you mean? And then also, he had told me that he graduated with 2 degrees. Nope, that was a lie. He just stopped going to college and his family was paying for him. And then he had no money and his dad was like putting money into his bank account every month. So it was just like all of these things. And like this person that he portrayed himself to be was like all a lie. Everything was a lie. And it just was like, so wild that it was, like, hitting me in real time, and in my head, I'm like, "Oh my god, like, I just came all the way out here to meet his entire family, and the trip's not over. Now we have to go to California. We're going to, like, Disneyland together. We're meeting grandma and grandpa." Like, oh my god. What do I do? How do I get home? How do I get out of this situation? And his sister, God bless her, like, I still talk to her every now and then because, like, she's just, like, a really good human, and she was like, "If you need me to bring you to the airport and leave, like, I absolutely will." So I look at flights and they're like $2,000. And in hindsight, I should have just like bit the bullet and just flown home and got out of that situation. But yeah, so the flights were super expensive or they were all sold out because it was 4th of July weekend. So I end up getting on a plane and going to California. And then I'll never forget, like, specifically, we were at Disney World with his family and we're all in line and I'm standing like in line. We're all like sardines. And he texts me and he goes, "Get your vagina off my brother." What? What are you talking about? I'm literally standing like this, and his brother is, yeah, next to me with like his daughter, and then his sister is on the other side, and then he's like right in front of me. I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, what is happening? Like, I can't, like, am I the crazy one? Am I not seeing something that's so obvious? Well, no, like, this man just is off of his rocker. So, to make this really long, terrible dating story short, we then our flight got canceled coming home. So, which actually was a blessing in disguise because okay, so then he would go through my phone, he would read my text messages, he would like freak out if like Sean or Tommy from work texted me. And I'm like, those are my coworkers. Like, they're both also married. Like, there's nothing going on. What are you talking about? So he would read my text. I would go outside and like try to be on the phone with my mom. And I would see him like around the corner, like listening to me. So at that point, I can't clue in any of my family or my friends on what's going on. So we rebook, get on this flight, and they don't book our seats together. So I was like, okay, this is where I pay for the $8 internet, and I got to let somebody know what the hell is happening. Because at this point, I would say not that I didn't feel safe because maybe I should have not felt safe, but I more or less just knew I needed to get out of the situation. And I needed to let somebody know what was happening because at this point, nobody knew besides his sister. And what is she gonna do from California and Colorado? Um, so we get on the plane and he was like, "You need to ask the person next to you to give up their seat so that I can switch." And I'm just like, "Okay, whatever. I'm not doing that." So I tell him like, "Yeah, like it's a family, so they can't split them up." And then he's like sitting up further on the plane and I'm back like 5 rows and the person nobody shows up to sit in the seat next to him. So he tries to get me to go sit there and I just like sit there and I shake my head. The plane takes off. I get that internet. I tell my sister everything. The whole flight he is looking back staring at me with these daggers. I was just like, "Casey, like oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?" So then, we basically like the plane landed and like we didn't talk and he like stayed over that night and it was like silence. Nobody spoke. So then the next day, I think I like because when I'm home, like I work remote. He had that day off and I like left my house. We weren't living together, but like since he lived so far, like he would stay with me every now and then. And um, I just like left the house, got my thoughts clear. My sister, I told her not to say anything. She told my dad, told my brother-in-law. So then both of them like show up in Syracuse with all of his hunting rifles and like waited at the end of my street and were like, "He has 1 hour to get out of your house or we're coming in." So that night I broke up with him and then I had my locks changed and all of that. And um I heard from him honestly, like, I was surprised. He kinda just, like, let it die and, um, didn't reach out after besides one time. He was like, called me all of these names, which is totally inappropriate to begin with, but whatever, and basically told me I had to, like, unfollow his sister and how disrespectful it was, and then she told me he, like, texted in their group chat, like, their family group chat, that everybody had to, like, disassociate with me, which I respect and which is fine, but just crazy. Um This chat has been going off and I haven't been able to read anything, so I don't know what's going on. You got some good family. Yeah, I do. They are here to protect me. And that's why, like, whoever I end up with, my family's going to be so freaking critical because I only date psychopaths. That's my type. Psychopaths. I did date this one guy who was quite lovely. And it's funny because I actually talked to him earlier this week just about something random. Like we had somebody that like he sent my way and then I connected and we were chatting and so that one guy was a really good relationship. Not ever again. He's in a serious relationship with somebody. I was telling Presley he moved out to Arizona and I was like, "Ooh, maybe that's the sign." But no, so that's the last. I wouldn't even really call it a serious relationship. Like we were boyfriend girlfriend, but we only dated a couple months. So I was blessed for that because the healing process was pretty fast. It more was just like and something I've worked through therapy is like what is my problem? Like why did I ignore all of these red flags? I guess is really what I tried to explore. And yeah. So now that everybody I only date psychopaths, Lauren 2024. Yeah, no, that's been since Lauren like when did psychopath dating begin? I would say like 2019. That was another military guy that was convinced that I was only dating him because so my last name is Lebanese. My grandfather's 100% like from Lebanon. He was convinced he got really, really drunk one night and he was on a bunch of medication for like antidepressants and things like that. And he had bipolar disorder. I'm pretty sure he was medically discharged from the army, but he was convinced that I was hired from the Taliban to like investigate him and his family. So like yeah, guys, I'm aware that my dating experience is probably mostly my own problem, not another military guy. I know that like please please don't send any military men my way unless they're no longer in the military and normal. So yeah, now that we're up to speed on Lauren's dating history. Wow, this has been a really good time. Do you think he's watching Wad Zombie? Oh my god. No, I don't. I don't. But maybe. But maybe. Oh my god. I'm glad I changed my locks. Now I'm paranoid. Now I'm paranoid. That's okay. We stay packing. Nobody's coming in my door. I know that my dogs ain't gonna protect me, so I gotta make sure I can protect myself. You know what I mean? Come along. I'd be Oh, yeah, I should have flown to the airport. You're right. Uh Justin, I could say there's a lot of weirdos. Yeah, I mean, and I again, like I don't want to do this blanket statement because I also have family that has served and they're really great people and I know a lot of really great people who have served, but Fort Drum Watertown Infantry, that's going to be a no for me, dog. That's going to be a no for me. We have grown and we are a confident 32-year-old woman now. We don't allow that bad juju in our life anymore. We're done. We're done. Yeah. So that's where we're at. Red flags is the first few sentences. Nice. Yep. So now it's just me and my dogs. They're cool. We have a good time. I have a lot of good friends. I do. Um there's this cute guy at my gym that I'm currently investigating. He doesn't have social media, which can either be a really like there's two types of people who don't have social media. People who actually are like really really great genuine humans who just like are so embraced in like other life things and doing that or learn this one on my dating podcast that I'm listening to. It's the men that cheat because they don't want anybody to know what they're really up to with their lives. So they don't have social media because then they can't like take that picture with their significant other. Hey, honey. So it's one or two. So we're still trying to investigate. Met him at the water cooler earlier today. I said, "Hey, how's it going?" He said, "Yeah, pretty good. How was your workout?" I said, "Oh, you know," or this was yesterday, not today. So yeah, we're in the very early stages. He's got a good job, doesn't live at home. Nice. So we're already at our 3 rule minimum here. Oh man. Any potentials? Yeah, I just that's the only potential. But and again, he has no idea that I have a crush on him. Like this is literally just me like, "Oh, I've had a few good positive interactions with this man and he doesn't look like my type, which is that's awesome. We don't want to go for any of my type anymore. You can't go below that because you can't, right? Yeah, I feel like when people say you got to date, you got to kiss a lot of frogs before you find Prince Charming, like, oh, these are worse than frogs. These are freaking like black widows. They attack. They're bad. They're, oh my God. This whole time I keep like turning my microphone down. I don't know if it sounds any different. What are we investigating? What does said investigating look like? Do you need us to help? Honestly, you know what? Maybe this is what we're using this for. If anybody has normal, single, nice men who don't live at home and have a job, send them my way. Let them shoot their shot. Maybe we'll hit it off. Maybe ask them to join the live show. um, I do keep, well, besides Christian, I suppose, I do keep everybody anonymous who I've gone on bad dates with. Not like any of you guys would know, but like I don't believe in like totally putting people on blast. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how these live shows progress. Like I said, I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know what these shows are going to entail. They are going to be from one extreme to the next. I really didn't think we would spend this long typing. Dalton's best friend is normal and single and lives in Phoenix. I love that sale pitch. Sale pitch. Send me your sales deck, Presley. I would like slides with a variety of pictures. Don't make sure that he's not in sunglasses because I got to see them beautiful eyes. Make sure it's a full body shot, not just like the close up. I want to know like what are his hobbies? Does he have family? Is he close to his family? Does he live at home? Is he nice? The important things. This turned out great. Thanks, Ortega. I'm glad you think so. Couple states over, a couple countries. I said no, Andrew Hiller, you did not find Christian's Facebook. Not true. Not true. Please also don't stir the pot. Like I was actually invited to his sister's wedding and I'm traveling for a tactical games event tomorrow. So I can't go, but I did at one point consider like, oh, I really do like her and I keep in touch. And actually his family bought me tickets to a Bills game last fall. So I went with his whole family, not him, obviously. And I do really like them. But like I don't want to deal with the brother. We gotta close that chapter. Her and I will do something different. To the CrossFit Games with Media Pass. What's she doing at the games? Yeah. I have one of the enhanced media passes this year. Woo-hoo-hoo! Feeling lucky. So that'll be fun. I do got to read the agreement and see what it all entails, but yes, I will be doing that. You should guys, this chat, I cannot keep up with all of these comments. Blind date at the games with stage setup. Oh my God. I would die. Actually, it's funny because when I was at Monster Games, these 2 girls that I was working with, Holly and Liz, they actually had me fill out a bachelorette application. I would never actually do it. And they probably get thousands of them, but it was just like funny to fill it out and, put it out into the universe. I definitely don't think that show works. And similar to how I feel with Love Island, like that stuff is so toxic. Like it is strictly entertainment. It's not for the real deal. Shooters shoot at the game in the DMs. What do you mean? I don't know what half of these things mean. Enhanced media pass requires a kidney. I did once tell my news director that I would cut off a right arm to get a job. So, when I want something, I really go for it. She didn't laugh when I said that too. She had like such a serious face, and I meant it kind of like as a joke, but also like, hey, I really want this job. Tell me what I need to do to get it. So everything's fair game. Let's play the game. Have you met Lauren at the games? What does that mean? What do you mean? Bring suitors to the games. Oh yeah, no, everybody. You got everybody on here. Cross Fat. Oh my god, I didn't even realize what that name was. That's funny. From, do you guys know Fluffy Duck? Josh P. I forget what his actual last name is, but his brand had kind of fluffy, kind of fit. I freaking love that shirt. What a great little sentence. Great little tagline. We won't flood him with bad emojis. Oh god. No, seriously, if you guys found him and you message him or do anything, like, I will go off. It won't be good. I'm nice until I'm not. Ask Presley. Don't do that. Seriously, like that would make my life really difficult. And I don't know if he's still living in the area, and we just don't need to deal with that. No bad juju. Please don't wish that on me. Please, we're trying to grow. Like that's going to be way too expensive of therapy sessions for me to work that out if you guys do that. So please. Okay. Guys, we got 5 minutes and then I got to start my bedtime routine. The other day I was FaceTiming Presley and she got to watch my whole skincare routine. Maybe eventually we'll get to that. We'll do bedtime routine with Lauren. That could be fun. Any other questions here? Any other questions? If he can afford a CrossFit membership, he's doing okay. That's true. Actually, that is a pretty good barrier to entry. Just knowing that, well, you don't know, maybe their parents are paying for it. You seriously never know. I thought Christian made his own money. Nope. That was wrong. You're about to have so many suitors at the games. It's funny because earlier when I was recording this week's episode for Talking Elite Fitness, I said to Sean and Tommy, I think I saw this on Instagram. It was somebody that had a QR code that would link to their Instagram, and it was like, single and ready to mingle, like scan me. And I was like, man, I should have had my CrossFit Games shirts have that and just walk around at all these events that I go to. And maybe that's my new like dating strategy. Just a QR code that sends them right to the DMs. Then I wouldn't need to like, then they are efforting me, that means that they're interested and I don't need to do this whole back and forth. And maybe on the shirt we'll even put like, must have a job, must be nice, must not live at home. If this is you, scan the QR code. We could honestly we could have good fun with that. Maybe that could be a good time. Who knows? Oh my God. Come on. See why you got to clip the random things that I'm saying. This is all out of context. All out of context. Watch the full show if you want to actually hear what I said in context. I know this is an hour and 27 minutes. That's a long time. Nobody's going to watch the full thing at this point. Now the clips are just going to be clipped for Instagram. But you know what? I'm going to keep doing this thing because I can't worry about the little bits posted of me that are out of context. You know who I'm talking about. It is what it is. I want to live my life. I want to live my best life. And I'm here to have fun. I'm here to chat with you guys. I'm here to figure out like what this show is going to turn into. And I hope it like leads to more positive friendships and connections. Just have a QR code on your shirt and says message me. T-Bird, I'm glad that you enjoyed this. This is definitely Lauren After Hours. Maybe we'll rename the show After Hours with Lauren. I don't know. We'll see. But most of these are honestly gonna be on the road, like from Airbnbs or like hotels that I'm at, or maybe we'll do one like maybe we'll do one on a date at some point. That could be fun. That could be fun. It would have to be a little bit more like sneaky. Like I could have one earphone in and just like my phone and we could play that way and I'll have you guys vote. Do you think I should stay on this date or do you think I should leave? That could be a good time. That could be a good time. Ah, I'm here for the bedtime routine. So the bedtime routine, as you can see, I'm in my glasses. I try to put on my blue light blockers a couple hours before bed. I like to be in my bed by 9:30. So after this, I actually have to go flip my laundry real quick and then I will wash my face. I'll put my lotion on. I will brush my teethers. I'll let the dogs out. I do need to finish my water because it's got all of my supplements in. I need to have one more protein shake, and then I'm probably gonna put one more episode of Love Island on, and then I'm gonna go to bed. That's gonna be the routine. So thanks. That's a terrible idea. I like Lauren After Hours. I'm willing to rebrand the name here. We can change it. We can have this a fluid conversation. But no, seriously, this has been really fun. I enjoy doing this kind of stuff that's a little bit more unscripted. I like the scripted stuff too, but this is just a different format that we're going to play around with and have fun. If somebody knows how to have call-in guests, like send me the instructions. Give me like the play-by-play on how to do it. And at some point we'll implement that in. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we'll also eventually maybe have guests, but not the type of guests that you guys would maybe expect me to have. It'll be a little bit different so that it's not jumping in the vein of what I'm already doing. I want this to be unique and I want it to be fun and I want to see value. So I'm always open to you guys shooting me a message with suggestions, ideas, and yeah, this was a lot of fun. I hope you guys had fun too. It is now 8 o'clock on the dot Eastern time. So